Just looking at Mark McNulty that you've just been speaking about, during his time at Coventry, he did strike up quite a potent strike force with Max. Is that exciting you looking forward to January when perhaps we'll see these two together again?
Yeah, I'm really content with the depth in the squad, whether it be young players, whether it be our senior players or long-standing players. I'm really quite content. Mark McNulty is a player that I was really pushing to bring back to the club because he's an exciting talent, he's a goal scorer, and even now that he's injured, that there's a real burning desire to get back fit, healthy and scoring goals for Dundee United, so naturally I'm really excited to see him.
Looking towards the game on Saturday against Ross County, it's probably the longest journey you're likely to have in the league. You made it yourself last night to see them playing Hibs. Is that something that can affect the players having to go into something like that and then have to head out to Motherwell a few days later?
I think even in terms of our loading this week, in terms of our training plans, we've carefully considered the travel. We'll stay up there on Friday night, and again in terms of the training patterns of the players, it's all been very well considered to make sure that as many players as possible could be available to play in all the matches next week. So it is going to be a really tricky week with a lot of travelling, tough competition, but it's also quite exciting as well. 3 games in a week. Players love to play football, and they're really different types of challenges as well. So no, I think we only take the positives from that.
Looking at the league itself, although there's quite a spread in points throughout the teams, most teams have had the opportunity to take points off of other teams, so it's a very competitive league this year, and nobody's getting the opportunity just to have a whitewash with it.
No, and I think that's what makes the league really exciting. I think there's a lot of teams with quite clear styles and identities. Nobody's getting cast adrift at the bottom, and on their day anyone can beat anyone. So in terms of the league, the integrity of the league, the quality of the league, and how externals see the league, I think there's a lot of positives just now, and we obviously want to play a part in that by making it an exciting league. I think we're quite an exciting team to watch. We've had a solid start, and we still know that there's improvements to be had as well.
Looking at the game on Saturday and comparing it to the game last week, two very different games. Are we likely to see a very different Dundee United this week at Ross County?
Yeah, possibly. I think, again, when I reflect on the previous Ross County game, I think we were very, very strong in the first half. We got in front. Second 45 minutes, I thought they were strong. They created a couple of different chances, and we probably did well to actually claim the 3 points in that day. So naturally, they're a team that have our total respect. I think their performance levels have been pretty consistent. They're now starting to get some results to kind of go along with that. So we go up there, we're optimistic, we're positive, but we also know that there'll be a tough nut to crack on Saturday.
Again, looking at the game last night, you managed to see firsthand the happenings that were up there, and you saw what happened last week at Tannadice. Do some of these decisions that referees are making these days, does that cause you concern as a manager? I'm not saying that they're right or wrong, but do some of these strange decisions cause you concern as a manager that you could find yourself on the wrong end of some of these?
No, I think at the end of the day, look, we've all got a responsibility, players, staff, to make sure that we maintain our composure. Now that isn't always easy in a really passionate game, and I think you seen last week that there was almost a frenzied atmosphere which kind of overspilt, but if we can maintain our composure and our own professionalism, then that naturally makes the referees' jobs easier. So no, I just think for us the key thing, particularly at this stage of the season, is maintaining discipline, composure, professionalism, and try and make the referees' jobs as easy as possible.
With the happenings of last week, it's very difficult sometimes to take a positive out of it, but you have to think about the fans sometimes and where they are. Do you have a message for the fans for how they should be supporting Dundee United from now on?
Yeah, I think our fans this year have been tremendous, and I'd like to think that there's a lot of positivity associated with supporting the team. The fans have also been out the stadiums for quite some time as well, so naturally the return with a pent-up enthusiasm, shall we say. But I do think it is important to remember that we are there to enjoy the players, we're there to support them, and they could verbalise their opinion as they see fit as they're in the stadium. But no, I've only got positive things to say about the way that we've been supported this year. The incident last week's been dealt with by the club internally. The club had made a statement, and we just got to move on from that. But from me to the fans, it's just really grateful for their level of support so far this year.
Well, Ryan, another victory last weekend. good to get back on the winning ways again.
Yeah, obviously it was a big game, big good atmosphere, massive crowd, and we knew we could open up a big gap against Aberdeen if we were to win. And obviously it was a scrappy game first half. It wasn't the prettiest of games, but that's how the game goes sometimes, and you just have to be better than the opposition. Obviously he was, and obviously Butch getting sent off didn't help, and then lucky enough it was 10v10 not long after that, so he evenly matched up again, and we obviously got the goal and the 3 points, so happy days.
Was it difficult for the players to kind of perform at their best after what happened just before half time?
No, because it was the same for both in the end. I think it was only a 5-minute period where they were a man up and the lad goes and gets sent off for whatever reason. So 10v10 was obviously, we haven't done a lot of that. It's usually just one team getting a man sent off, but yeah, it was the same for both teams, and both were going trying to win the game second half. Thankfully it was us, and I think we sit 9 points ahead of them now, and a nice gap from the other teams chasing the top 6. But we're looking up, we're not looking behind. We're looking to try and get third place on our own. I know we're joint third now, but we want it on our own and try and kick on from there.
Playing Ross County at the weekend, obviously a team propping up the bottom of the league at the moment. However, last night put a whole new maybe viewpoint on what they're capable of at home.
Well, he did a few weeks ago as well, didn't he? At Dens, they beat Dundee 5-0, I think it was. Or was it 5-1 or something like that? So, and even when we played them at home, we could see that maybe haven't got the points on the board they deserve, because they're a good side. You wouldn't think they were rock bottom of the table. Got some good individuals and they can cause you threats. So we know what to expect. We've gone over them a lot, and it's up to us to try and quiet their threats, what they can offer, and try and cause our threats going forward. Problem for them.
I think it probably highlights more than ever that any team in this league can beat any other.
That's the case so far, I think. Yeah. I know it's only us who've beat Rangers so far, but they've come close to dropping a few other points as well. They've certainly went down a goal or two to start off with and come back from that. So I think the league's wide open. Yeah, Rangers and Celtic are sitting above the rest at this moment in time, but you can very quickly change, and with the run of games coming up in the future, especially around Christmas time, they come thick and fast. So there'll be a lot of points to play for, and hopefully we can pick up as many as we can and get as close to them as we can.
From a player's point of view, how is it when they come as thick and fast as they're going to be at the festive period?
Yeah, I think you'd rather play than train, so we love it. It's not as if we've got to travel miles and miles, apart from this weekend, which is the biggest journey of the lot. But we get that out the way, and then it's about Tuesday night, Motherwell away, and then you'll just, as I said there, they'll just keep coming and coming. We've got to try and pick up points as well as, and whatever way we can, and to try and continue to get up that table and get into third position.
Last one for me, it's again, obviously it's important, and it's an old cliche saying, it's take one game at a time, but when you come up to a hectic period, is it difficult to keep that focus on just one game at a time?
Not really, no, because we haven't mentioned Motherwell once. We're obviously all talking about Ross County, preparing for that, and that's the only game you can affect, your next one. And then when you get through that, you get, if there's any knocks, anything, or players need rest or anything, that's for the gaffer and the sports science team to figure out. But in terms of one game at a time, it's Ross County for us, and we're going in there to win, and try and spend that fair place at the minute for ourselves, rather than be joint fair place.